Let me tell our listeners this. Between 1972 and 1980, there were 3 schools that dominated the state of Ohio in high school football, AAA and AA. Moeller, Jerry Faust, 6 state championships. Pat Mancuso, Princeton, 3 state championships. And in AA football, the Wyoming Cowboys, runners-up in 75, state champions in 1977. So, folks, before USA Today and their mythical national championship, the Cowboys, the Princetons, and the Moellers dominated.
I'll tell you, too, the thing that I got mad about, you know, we were defending state champions in 78. We go 10-0 and didn't even get back in the tournament.
Due to the Harbin ratings.
Due to the Harbin ratings.
That's a long time. And I was here for part of it for 25 years. And it was a great experience.
It's pretty amazing. And the type of success that Wyoming's had has been pretty amazing. And a small community, a small public school, being able to get the athletes year after year after year, and you know, it's just a remarkable community and a remarkable football program.
It's great. I mean, it's a long tradition. Our kids accept the high expectations that the community has. They accept that high expectations. They take it very serious, and I think that goes a long way when you ask kids to dedicate their summer to the weight room, dedicate their off season to getting better as a football player. The kids accept responsibility because of the tradition. They don't want to let that tradition down, and I think that goes a long way. It's almost like tradition is a 12th man.
I think even now with Aaron Hancock's teams, current teams, they expect to win. So that's important. It's a winning tradition. Losing can be like a cancer, and winning can be too. And so Wyoming winning is everything here.
Oh, it's awesome. Growing up in Wyoming all my life, my whole family's from Wyoming. Seeing the 64 team that went unscored upon, to see these guys when I was in the 5th and 6th grade, and to see them now, and to understand the accomplishment that they had being unscored upon, it's just awesome. And they just paved the way for all of us who came behind them.
It's crazy when you really think about it. 100 years of football, and what's even crazier is the success, the 100 years of success of Wyoming football. When Jim, when he was contacting me when he was planning all this, and he let me see some numbers, it was kind of unbelievable for me to look at. And then I was watching the news this morning. They're saying the second winningest program, win percentage program. So just to think about that and really put it in perspective, when you're in it, you don't really think about it. But now, as I'm older and I sit back and really think about what Wyoming football has done, it's amazing to really think about.
Looking at everyone all together, it kind of hits you. You're like, wow, 100 years of, football and great tradition and winning, and you start to think on what it took to establish those wins and to shake hands with the people whose shoulders we now stand on is pretty amazing.
Mr. Bradbury was the principal, and at this pep rally before the first game that year, he took the microphone and went to the middle of the floor, got the kids quiet, and said, "I'm going to make a prediction this year. This team is not going to lose a game, and furthermore, they're not going to be scored on." And heaven forbid, they did not lose a game. They did not give up a point.
Looking at that team now, it's unbelievable. But, they were big, but they were talented, they were quick, fast, and smart.
Coach Lewis told me later, he said that was one of the worst years and hardest years in coaching that I ever had, because when the score would be out of sight and he should be getting some reserves in there and getting game experience, he said the team didn't want to give up a point. The fans in the stands were screaming, "Don't give up any points," and all like that. And he said the next year was a hard year. because a lot of kids didn't get experience that should have got it.
The school administration's very, very supportive. The community, football is important in Wyoming, and the fact that we've only had 4 coaches is pretty remarkable. I was very fortunate because I got to play for Bob Lewis, and Bob Lewis was I mean, he's a legend, just an unbelievable football coach. And Gary Jump was an assistant for Bob when I played, so you know I obviously played under Gary too, and then Gary took over, and then I was just unbelievably fortunate to take over for Gary, and I had 21 great years at Wyoming, and Aaron Hancock, who was my defensive coordinator, took over for me. And
winning helps. So when you have a tradition of winning, you know, you want to stay at a place where you can win, and this you can win here, and you have a lot of good athletes walking throughout the school, and you have a lot of support system. You have everything you need to be successful. You just need to get the job done.
It's just been a lot of continuity, and I think that's helped the program too.
I really feel like this is a place where we can continue to increase our level of competition and continue to get better and better every single season. And our motto is do things better than they've ever been done before, and that goes no different because we've had 2 back-to-back 12-1 seasons, and we want to improve upon that. We want to improve upon everything that we do, and so that's our focus every single day.
That's incredible. Of course, I'm biased towards Coach Berry because that's who I played for. That's who I know the most. But when I got my Hall of Fame speech last fall, I looked up some numbers on him, and it was really amazing to look at the numbers that he has and success and winning percentage that he has as a head coach in Ohio and Kentucky.
I was assistant to Coach Bob Lewis, who came here in 1956, and he was a walking encyclopedia. He knew it all, had seen it all, and was easy to work for, but he had the last call, and the kids knew who was the man.
My football coach was Bob Lewis. He was also my social studies teacher and my athletic director. I worked in the public school system for 35 years as a social studies teacher, a football coach, and an athletic director. So he had quite an impact on my life.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Bernie played for Coach Lewis, and Bernie was a very important impact, had a very important impact on my life and my coaching career. And so I definitely feel like, you know, Bob Lewis is part of this program today.
I've been knowing Coach Lewis all my life. Funny story, I was a freshman, 9th grade, and all my life I was from Pee Wee all the way to the 9th grade, I was a running back. And so Coach Lewis put me at a tight end. I didn't know what a tight end was, and I remember to this day I went to Coach and said, Coach, I was born to run the ball. I want to be a running back. And he said, Bell, you can be a 3rd string running back or a 1st string tight end. And I said, man, so okay, Coach.
And if I remember back some of the things he said, I think one of the things that sticks out is that he always used to say you don't win football games, you lose them. And you lose them by making mistakes, more mistakes than the other team. And that's true in life. You know, you're successful if you do the right thing. If you do the wrong thing, you're not going to be successful. And so, you know, that's just a value that I learned from him, and I've used that in my life and my coaching career. And it's been I wouldn't trade it for anything.
I had the opportunity to only meet Bob Lewis twice. I met Bob Lewis twice before he passed away, and a tremendous impact. You can tell the tremendous impact that he had on this community and his former players, Coach Berry, and Coach Berry has passed that along to me, and it's been an honor. It's an honor to be a head football coach here at Wyoming.
And from that point on, I tried my best to score as many touchdowns as a tight end. Back there, Bob didn't run that much. We didn't have a West Coast offense, and when he threw it, I caught it, and I tried to score every time I got the ball.
That's beautiful.
Well, I was looking at Bob Lewis' record, and I was just, you know, because when you see the field and it's named Bob Lewis, stadium and everything, and I was like, who is this man Bob Lewis, and what did he do? And I understand how hard it is to get one win. And when you have 198, you know, that's pretty impressive. And you understand like the dedication and the hard work and the time he probably spent away from his family to give to Wyoming and to build what we have today.
I told his grandson, Kyle, played quarterback for me. And I told Kyle last night that your grandfather would have absolutely loved to have been here tonight. They would have given him the microphone, and I don't think we'd ever gotten it back. He would have talked forever.
He would love it. He would love it. I had an opportunity when I came back here as the athletic director. We had one of these get-togethers, and he was in the crowd, and I had an opportunity to thank him for everything he did for me. And you don't often get to do that with your mentors, but he would just absolutely love seeing all these people from all the teams that he coached.
Oh, he would love it. And one thing about Coach Lewis, his memory was unbelievable. Every generation and every kid that came back, he had a story for every kid. He had a story for every kid. I mean, it was unbelievable, the mind he had.
I'd just be glad to say, well, Coach, it's damn good to see you. Glad to see you.
Well, I don't know that you'll find a more supportive community, certainly for athletics, but also for arts, for academics, really any initiative that the school has. It seems the whole community really gets behind that and becomes a driving factor in it.
It's a family, it's a community. I mean, there's so many second and third generation families that have played here. The Marty family is one in particular. They have a son that's a quarterback at Butler University. His cousin's a quarterback at Northwestern University. And their fathers both played here, and their uncles and grandfathers played here. So it's just a community where people stick around because of the schools and a great academic excellence, and they continue to play football and win.
On Friday nights, to go out to the track, I usually get down there right as the game's starting to watch kids from 3 in their Wyoming football jersey to 93 celebrating the team, and the camaraderie is really awesome.
I don't remember there being a problem when a levy would come up to be voted on, and they're just a good, the community is just a strong community dedicated to good education for their kids, and they expect a lot of them when they're in the classroom, and they expect the teachers that are there to be on the ball too.
I would say it's an incredible support system that we have here, and just the amount of support that the community shows helps us be successful.
Continue to do that, continue to support the community for especially our sports activities and facilities that we're trying to do. We like people who went to Wyoming, the alumni, to come back, support us, and continue this rich tradition of not only athletics, but a knit, close family community. And that's what we are. That's what we are. No matter where we are, we have that strong bond.
I love it here. I mean, I love this community. The community is great. Just keep on doing what you're doing. Whatever the motto is, just keep it up, because it's been successful for 100 years.
Football has changed my life, and it's great that I can still be a part of this great sport and be in a place where kids are having a lot of success and wanting to come out and having fun, and taking those sacrifices and being held accountable. All those things that football can provide, and that's what Wyoming football has done for a lot of kids. So it's an incredible support system. Can't say enough about the community support.
It's nourishment. This community is very nourishing, very welcoming, very humble community who opens everyone with welcoming arms. And just growing up in this environment, I wouldn't have it any other way.
I won't be around for all of the next 100 years, to be very clear. Maybe the next 10 to 15, maybe, God willing. but we're planning, so much of this landscape of high school athletics has changed over the last 15 years, including the number of kids that participate, including the number of teams there are. And really, it's time for us to catch up a little bit to provide that space and that off-season training and just the things that really keep us competing the way that we choose to compete, which is at a high level.